Great minds, come let us reason together. Great minds, we are open to reality. Oh, we want no more, we are hungry for more. We are curious, always searching for the truth. Great minds, come let us reason together. Great minds, come let us reason together. Come let us reason. Great minds, come let us reason together. Great minds, come let us reason.
All right. Happy Sunday, everybody. Wherever you are, happy Sunday. Happy last Sunday of the month. I hope your day was great, and I hope you went to church, because I'm about to ask you what you learned today at church. So I hope you went to church. Welcome to Great Minds. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Young Real Adult Talk Forum, a place where great minds meet together to talk about real issues in today's Christian society. As you can see, today is a different location. Would I say a coded one? Like a coded location. We are in person. We wanted to bring to you something different today. But before we dive into our conversation, I want to do introduction. As you can see, today is me. I know where all my other hosts are. So wherever you are, hosts, you know yourself, report yourself. Anyway, so welcome back. So I want to start. Well, before we do that, let's pray. Father, we thank you for this day. We commit our show before you. We pray that you take over in Jesus' name. Amen. The shortest prayer ever. Anyway, so welcome back. I want to introduce the panelists before we dive into our conversation. So I will start from my right. I have new panelists and I have returning panelists. So I'll introduce my first new panelist. On my right will be Sister Esther Amwakon here in Charlotte, PRWC. Welcome, our sister. Thank you for coming. Welcome. I have my J Amwa. Welcome, Jay, here in PRWC as well. And Babs, Sister Babs. Welcome. And our mommy is returning as well. Mommy Elizabeth Asari from Central Assembly. Thank you so much for coming. Before we dive into our conversation, I actually gave them, we normally don't tell the icebreaker. We don't tell panelists icebreaker. But today, because it's the last day of the month, I just wanted to be nice. So, okay. Barbara is ready. I don't know if I'm ready. Barbara, you are so ready. Okay. Before we do that, I want to let me give my disclaimer, because I feel like as soon as I ask you the icebreaker, we'll have to dive into the conversation. So the following conversations is not tied to any specific church, but are focused on the Christian society and community as a whole. And our topic today is behind the smile, healing from what we never talked about. Behind the smile, healing from what we never talk about. So Barbara, since you've been laughing so hard, let me ask you this icebreaker before we dive into the conversation. And I know all the other panelists are actually thinking about what they're going to say. So Sister Babs, where's my icebreaker now? What's something people assume about you because of your smile, but isn't actually true?
Okay. So, I don't know what people would assume about me because of my smile, but I can tell you what people used to assume about me before I started smiling. Because before, I wasn't really smiling as much as I am right now. So people used to think that I was a very stuck-up person, rude, or just too knowing. And very unfriendly as well. So I used to get like comments like that until like people actually get to know me and like, you're actually really cool. I'm like, yeah, you just need to talk to me. Yeah, but before when I wasn't smiling, that's what they used to think.
First of all, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Are you a mean person?
I'm not a mean person. I'm really not a mean person. You guys can tell me
I
if
know
I
you're
am.
not mean. She's not. She's not a mean person at all. Sister J.
Oh, well, similar to Barbara, I would say that, I mean, she's clearly grown out of her non smiling phase, but I think I'm still in mine. So I do get that I'm very serious because I don't smile. So I'm constantly being told that I need to smile more, or people are asking me what's wrong because they see me just very straight faced. And usually it's not really a reflection of my attitude at the time or my emotion. I'm just existing, and my face of existing just is just kind of blank. So people assume that maybe like
You're not a
something's
nice
going on.
person.
Yeah, or I'm not nice.
How do you feel when they ask you those questions? Like, are you okay? Like, why you not
Um,
smiling?
Sometimes it's annoying. I think what I don't like is when people tell me to smile, because I'm like,
I have to.
yeah, does the smile show? Like, what if there is something wrong? You're just telling me to smile. So I think that's the only thing I don't like when people are like, oh, you should smile more or something like that. And it's like, well, maybe I'm not smiling for a reason, but other times I'm just like, okay, let me just fix my face. So now I'm kind of aware, like, oh, I haven't been smiling. It's been 5 minutes since I smiled. Let me just, smile and fix my,
Like,
move my
smile,
muscles. So yeah, so people don't
cheese.
think anything, because it's usually nothing. There's usually nothing behind it.
Oh, okay, mommy. What do people assume?
Oh, well, so I think I smile all the time, and I think I know that. And then sometimes when I see myself not smiling, it's because I have a problem. There's something going on with me. Sometimes at work, people always see me smiling at work and everything, no matter what is going on with my patients. So sometimes they will say, Lizzie, something is wrong. You're not smiling. So when I have a problem going on, like maybe something is bothering me, I'm not really smiling because I can't show my teeth. I can't be happy because I'm not happy. Yes. So, but otherwise, I'm always smiling. I have two sisters and they don't smile. When we're taking pictures, they don't normally smile. Then my older sister will say, well, I'm not like you. You always smiling, but I cannot smile taking a picture. I mean, she doesn't like smiling, but she's a very nice person, but she just doesn't smile. So my smile, if I'm not smiling, then you know that something is wrong with me.
Mm.
Okay. For me, I think I'm the opposite of everyone else. Like just like mom said, I smile a lot. Especially when I don't know what I'm doing, I tend to smile, and
That's
people
me.
assume I have it figured out, but
Oh, my
usually I don't. So I don't know, but I've heard people say you have no idea what the effect your smile has been on me. So because of that, no matter the situation I find myself, I try to smile. Even when I don't know what I'm doing, I still smile. Like I will constantly be smiling and people will be like, are you okay? I'm like, you have no idea what is going on inside of me, but I try as much as possible to smile all the time.
I do a lot of smiling. Like I was telling you guys, when I have to like man the podium to sing, I'm always nervous, so I just smile. If you know me really well, I have different smiles. I won't tell you what it is. If you're looking up at that, I'll be smiling. Like I'll just smile because I'm thinking in my head, you just messed the song up. You just don't know the reason. So I just smile. I just smile. So I'm just going to dive into the question right now because we're talking about smile. Let me start with you, Sister Esther. Why do many women hide their pain behind a smile? Because Jay mentioned it. You don't know what is well. Let me start with Jay since you mentioned it. You don't know what is going on, but I'm smiling, and I know that like women, it doesn't matter the age, your career, whether you are married or not, whether you're single, whether you're young. We carry so much, but we put that pain behind our smile. So why do we put those pain behind our smile, knowing we are going through so much?
I think we do it, like you said, because we are going through so much. And sometimes we don't have the opportunity to stop. We're always in motion. Some women, you're a mother, you're a wife, you're this, you're that. We're always carrying multiple things on our backs. And sometimes we don't have the opportunity to stop and check in with ourselves or even like be vulnerable as we want to be. So I think because we are constantly in a state of motion. We're constantly on. We don't have a day off as women, so we're forced to kind of keep things going, because we know that, like Esther said, you said that, some people have said they don't know, you don't know how your smile is impacting them. So something like that it's great to say, but it gives you a pressure of like, oh, if I'm having a bad day, then maybe it'll affect everybody else. So let me push what I'm feeling down and carry on and smile, so I can continue to impact people positively.
Esther, let me come to you then. Why do we have to push things down knowing we are going through so much? Like you're saying, my smile will, impact somebody, knowing deeply down. First of all, I'm not even impacting myself in a positive way. Why do I need to push my pain for you to be okay?
Well, I feel like the way we are created as women is different from the men. We are very emotional, and we tend to put other people's needs above ours. So as women, we have so many people depending on us. Sometimes you are forced to smile just so the people around you will feel okay. You don't want to burden the people who depend on you. So you tend to keep the smile. Like, let's take, for instance, a mother. A mother may be sick, but to her children, she will demonstrate that I'm fine, everything is okay. So she will still make meals for them and make sure they are ready for school and make sure everything that they need is provided for, even though if left with her alone, she will need a time for herself, but she doesn't want to let those people around her down. And at the same time, too, she doesn't want to overburden them. And I also think women tend to smile even when they are hurting, because they just don't want to have to explain themselves. Because to some people, the more you try to explain yourself, they already have their misconception in mind. They've already judged you. So no matter how you try to explain yourself, they already have what they think. So to you, you feel like, okay, let me just smile and stop all further conversation. So that these are some of the reasons why we will smile even when everything is not okay.
Mommy, okay, my mind is different. Mommy, let me ask you this then. Why do we put that pressure on us? Is it pressure from ourselves or from society for women? Because we have only women here to do what we do. Like talking about like mothers. I know I can testify. There are days that I just want to sleep, and you hear a knock on your door, mommy, and I'm thinking, where's your father? Why are you coming to? Where's your dad? But then I'll get up and do it. Why do we put that pressure on ourselves, knowing that we are hurting, but we keep pushing through to make others happy and leave ourselves behind?
Because that's what women are made for. I think God made us to be stronger. It looks like we are even though the father is the head of the family, or we say he's the head of the household, the woman is actually the strongest backbone in the household. Because if you look at it, if you go ask your father something, sometimes he'll say, most of the time, I won't even say sometimes, most of the time he'll say, go to your mother. Where's your mom? I mean, I know a father that when he's in the house, he's basically he's not there. Like physically, he's there, but his whole mind and body is not there for the children. The children go to him, hey, go to your mom. Where's your mother? Go to your mom. So the woman is made as a stronghold for the household. We push ourselves to do things because we want to see our children excel. We want to see our children do well. So even if we have to put ourselves down so that our children will do better, we do it. Like she said, even if we are sick, you know that you have to sleep, but you still get up and do things for your child. Even when you are off, that you have to sleep. you will get up to take care of your children, make sure your children are doing well before you go back to take a nap or do whatever you want to do. We always want to struggle for our family because it looks like that's what we're made for, or that's how God made us. So we struggle to go through things for our family. We want people or our family to look better so that even though if we are struggling to get them there, we rather want it to be that way. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, because I feel like if my child is doing well, or sometimes we even don't have money, we feel like we need this dress, but I rather want to buy it for my daughter, for her to look good. I rather do that. So you want your children to look better than you, but some mothers don't care. But most, I would say 98% of mothers want their children to look better than they do. Because if you are dressed up, somebody will say, "Oh, she's saying na neba." Yeah, they will look at you like, why are you so dressed and your child looking so dirty and wretched and all that? You don't want anybody to talk about your child like that. So you rather want them to say that, oh, look at that lady's child. You see her daughter, the way she's dressed up, looking so good. You see her son. That is what made us feel happy. It makes us look like, yes, this is a mother. And that's what mothers are made for. So God made us to be strong for the household.
That's great. Thank you so much, Mommy. Thank you, everybody. Barbara, let me come to you with the pressure. I'm still with the pressure on. Do you think this pressure comes, do you think it depends on your age, or it doesn't matter like what age, whether you're married, single, or like you're older or young? Do you think this kind of pressure, because the reason I'm asking that is because even with my little girls, sometimes they'll come back from home and then they'll be, you ask them, how was school? It's okay. But when you sit there and talk to them, you realize that, maybe something happened that they are not happy. But because they are girls, Andrew will literally, Mommy, school was bad. But the girls will try not to tell you unless you pressure them. So does it come with age? I don't know if you understand me. Age, because Mommy's age is different. My age is different. Everybody feels different pressure. Do you think it comes with age, or it's just a woman thing? Every woman, it doesn't matter your age, you go through that kind of pressure.
Yeah, I think it cuts across. It doesn't matter your age at all. And sometimes, I think over the years, or at least for centuries, I think society has conditioned women to think that being strong means you have to smile even though you're in pain. Oh, Nini Ading, because she's not showing any sort of pain or any sort of emotions. So I think because society has conditioned women to think that way, even if like someone is suffering behind, or they are going through pain, because she doesn't want anyone to know about it, and she wants to maybe, keep on that strong persona, or she's not going to say anything. She's just going to smile about it. And you talked about kids, right? And your daughters. So the kid, especially like a young girl, is being bullied in school. To your point, if she doesn't want to get her mom to worry, maybe let's say she expressed it to her mom one time, and her mom's like, "You're a strong girl. You can deal with it. You're strong. Yeah, you can deal with it." That is in her head, in her brain. So even if it happens again, because Mommy already told her she's a strong girl, when she goes home, she doesn't want to show any emotion because Mommy said she's strong, and she's gonna continue to be strong. So I think it cuts across all ages. It really doesn't matter where you are in life or at what age you are in life. There is pressure.
I mean, this age thing and this culture thing is like, and I also feel like culturally, we put a lot on women. Let me come to you, Esther. We be here in America, and I've been here for those years, and I feel like when I was growing up, the things that we tolerated was different, right? In Ghana, coming from Ghana, and here in America, things are different. With this pressure thing, and with this woman smiling behind our smile, we take so much. I feel like in Ghana, let me say Ghana, because all of us are from Ghana, our culture really puts so much on women to handle things like emotionally, to kind of bring everybody together, put things together, and then you, like, you understand? So you being here in America, do you see any difference? Is it the same or a different way wherever you go? Yes.
Okay. This is what I think. In terms of culture, there are differences between Ghana and here. I think back home, the culture pressure is real, like from grandparents to neighbors to colleagues and church leaders, community members, like they have this expectation of women that kind of put women in this box. So there are certain expectations growing up. If you happen to be the girl among a lot of guys, when the guys mess up, they expect you to pick up the pieces and make sure there is order. So when your parent comes home and the kitchen is dirty, they are not going to be on the guys, but rather they will ask you, the lady, that why is the kitchen dirty? You see, so right from infancy, you are kind of being trained, like Barbara said, you are conditioned to perform certain roles such that it grows with you. And even when you are older, you don't know how to take care of yourself and your needs, but you always tend to look out for the good of others, make sure everybody is okay but yourself. So even when you are tired and everything, you still keep going and going just to make sure that everyone around you feels okay. But when you come to American culture, I think they are more relaxed when it comes to the societal expectations. So here, I feel like women tend to care for themselves better than back in Ghana. Because back in Ghana, you are concerned about what society will say, what your neighbors will say, more than how do you feel personally? Are you okay? Do you have the strength to keep moving? And so on and so forth. So I feel like in America, the pressure is lesser than back home, because back home, the culture is very strong, and not only from within your family, but externally, the community. The entire society have certain expectation on you. So you always want to live up to that expectation.
You know what I want us to do? I really want us to mention some of the struggles. Mommy, let me start from you, Jay. Whilst I'm asking Mommy, think about you and Barbara. What are some of the struggles we don't talk about? Like, what are some of the struggles that goes on in our community? Because at the end of the day, it takes a village, right? You are always part of community. Nobody's an island. You're always part of a community. What are some of the struggles that women go through? And then we'll talk about the hurts that we really don't talk about.
So women goes through a lot. So some of the struggles that women goes through, like I'll just use like a married woman first. So married women goes through a lot, but they keep it to themselves. Like some of the stuff that they go through is abuse in the marriage. So abuse in so many forms. It's not only physical. So when we talk about abuse, we have physical abuse, we have emotional abuse, we have financial abuse, and others. So emotional, you know, the way that your husband will even talk to you, like you don't even exist. Like you're not that woman that he saw you years ago and said, will you marry me? And the way sometimes the words that they will use to talk to you is like, they won't even use those words to, to talk to their children, to their daughter, but they will use that to you as the wife. So that's one of the things. Physically, some men just physically abuse, hate their wives. And this woman will keep it to themselves. They will go to work, or you will see their face bruised, and then also I accidentally hit my face to the wall. Yeah.
I fell.
Yeah, I fell. Oh, I didn't see that I was walking into the wall and I hit my face to the door. Or the bottle or whatever fell from the fridge and hit my face. So we tell all kind of stories
Yeah.
just to, to keep this to themselves because they don't want anybody to know their struggles that they're going through in their home. Because first of all, they don't want to tell you because they feel like if they tell you, they don't know who you're going to tell. You're not going to keep it to yourself. So instead of them telling you, for you also to go tell somebody, and they feel like they walk out there, they go to church or they go to the community and everybody looking at them like, oh, you see her husband beats her. And then she comes out and be talking to us anyhow. Her husband beats her. You see how her hair looks like? Did you see her face the other day? Not knowing that her husband punched her in the face and then she told us that she walked into the wall. So she rather want to keep all these things to herself and deal with it. And she suffers. This woman suffers, but she comes out and she puts on a smile. But you don't know, behind that smile, she's really crying. And she goes into her closet and she falls on the floor and weeps.
Yeah.
She puts her kids to bed and she cries like a baby.
Yeah.
Like the baby that she just put to bed. So women goes through a lot. Financially, maybe the husband's job, he's been laid off and she's the only one working. She's probably working 2 jobs. And this man will financially abuse that money, use the money anyhow, that this woman goes out, struggle to work, come home and take care of the house and the children, and he will use the money anyhow. And then the woman talks about it and so hits her, abuse her physically. So all these things women go through, they don't want to talk about it because they don't know who can help them. Because sometimes you even talk about it, the person that you think you're going to tell to help you rather messes it up. Go tell your husband again, and then it's double abuse. So the struggles is a lot. It's a lot of struggles that women go through. So you see this woman nicely dressed up.
Yeah.
You don't know what is behind.
Yeah.
Sometimes these women just dress up just to make themselves feel good because they are struggling so much. Sometimes some people just go out and shop because they are so depressed that they just go and shop.
Retail therapy.
Yes, to make them feel better because they feel like, oh, you know what? I've done a lot. I've gone through a lot. Let me just go out there and then they just go and just shop too much also. Yeah, so.
And then you use your credit card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say one of the struggles or one of the issues that we go through is body image. I think
Thank you.
from being a baby, we deal with a lot of body image issues. And I don't know if it's specific to the African community or if it's women, but I've noticed from my own life, the community feels entitled to comments on your body from when you're young. And growing up, I was always taller than my age mates. I was bigger than my age mates, and I was already uncomfortable in my skin. And so even at my best, someone felt the need to still tell me, oh, you're getting big, or, like just tell it. And I'm like, oh,
your hips
like,
is coming out.
as what am I supposed to say? Like,
Thank you.
okay, yes. And I think, and some of those, it makes you very self-conscious. If you don't have a support system that is constantly reassuring you and letting you know you're beautiful, but instead they're constantly telling you, oh, this is wrong, it really can implant in your mind and really mess up your self-identity or how you feel about yourself, your self-esteem. So I would say body image. And I think it can kind of ebb and flow. Sometimes you're up and sometimes you're down, and it can go through your whole life. No matter if you feel like you're at your best or you're at your worst, like sometimes those thoughts can still ring in your mind. Yeah, so I would say body image is a big one.
That's huge, because when we talk about physical abuse, financial abuse, emotional abuse, and body image, I feel like women, we go through too much. I mean, our bodies are telling us, okay, your visitor is coming in 2 days. You have to buy pad. You have to do this. You have, like, when I'm going through it, my mood swings. Okay, these are all challenges. But I mean, when will women stop going through all this kind of stuff? It's a lot. Barbara, let me ask you this, and I'll go to Esther. body image. Have you ever, because me personally, growing up, I know you've known me for a long time. Today I'm big, the next day I'm skinny. Like I can eat everything in this world, but I still stay skinny. And I got to a point where I couldn't lose weight anymore. I just like, what happened? And I put so much pressure on myself because I feel like I didn't want anybody to tell me you've gained weight. I wanted to tell myself I've gained weight, so I needed to start working out. And then kids started coming in, and so I felt we put pressure on ourselves, and then society also bring that pressure on ourselves. Have you ever felt pressure? Like we're talking about body image, because no woman will ever lie and tell me they've never had that kind of issue. Have you ever felt pressure about your body? And then how did you overcome that? Because these are all smiles, pains behind our smiles, or sometimes we just smile and go through it because we are women.
Oh yeah. I think similar to what you said, my body fluctuates sometimes. Sometimes I lose weight, sometimes I gain weight. And I think quite recently, it's been consistent. And it's funny you mentioned that because about a couple of months ago, maybe, I met this person who was, trying to get to know me and whatnot. And during the conversation of getting to know each other, one thing he said was, "Oh, you've gained weight."
What?
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, from your previous pictures, I realized you were skinnier than you look now. It looks like you've gained weight."
Oh my god.
And in that moment, I was like, first of all, why are you telling me this? I think people forget that before you tell someone they've gained weight, don't you think they know? Like, don't you think we look in the mirror?
Yeah, yeah.
So why do you feel like you have to be the one to say it? So yeah, I have felt, and it's not just that experience, but like other ones, I have felt that experience with my weight or people talking about my weight. But honestly, I think I'm still trying to deal with it. I just kind of like block out the noise. Sometimes in life, you just have to deal with people make their comments or say whatever they want to say. Um, you can either accept it or not, and then just move forward. But yeah, just block out the noise is what I really do. And it's not even just with body weight, but like other circumstances or other issues. People are going to talk at the end of the day. It's up to you to accept it or not. And you have to be very picky as to what you accept and what you don't.
So how do we start our healing then? Because I'll go back and forth, the hurt and healing. So how do you start your healing? Because I also feel and believe that it takes women a while for us to get over certain things. Like with the body weight thing, you are big today, the next day you are skinny. Like I'm 104, 100 and today, the next day I'm 100 and the next day. So I'm trying to now I'm trying to change my clothes because I've lost weight. But then I stood on the scale and I've gained 2 more pounds. I'm like, first of all, what am I eating? It takes us a while for us to get over hurts, right? So how do we work ourselves towards healing? Because it would take healing for us to be okay. I mean, the hurt will come and go. So how do we work towards healing?
Okay. Yeah. How do we work towards healing? So like the other panelists have said, whether you gain weight or you lose weight, people will still talk. Some people will be like, why are you slim? Have you stopped eating? Are you dieting? Yeah. And when you gain weight, they will say you are eating too much. So, like areas in I think maybe after death that probably people will stop talking about you. So for the healing journey, I think it has to start with you. Like Barbara said, you have to block the noise. At this point in my life, I'm very selective of the voices that I hear in my life, because some of them, when you dwell on it, it will drag you down a pit where you lose your self-esteem and everything. So first of all, you knowing who you are and appreciating your own self. So knowing your identity, I think that is the first step of healing, because if God said that we were created in his image, meaning that whatever you look like, whether slim or big or whatever, or short or tall, it is a reflection of who God is. So if God image is good, then it means that whatever state you are in, it is good. So knowing your identity, first of all, is the first place where you start your healing journey. And also not allowing what other people say have effect on you so much, because a lot of people are just envious of you. So they will just say things that will bring you to their level. So just knowing who you listen to. I don't listen to everybody. If I need advice, I have people or mentors that I value their opinion in my life. So I will go to them for them to speak life to me. But if you surround yourself with people who are always speaking negativity and degrading you and bringing you down, you have to separate yourself. Just draw the distance. You don't even have to tell them that we are no longer friends. Just apply wisdom and distance yourself and protect your peace. So starting the healing journey, you have to know your identity and also screen your circles, those around you. Distance yourself from the toxic people and cling closer to people. And I would say that building intimacy with God is also a way of healing, because when before God, you can be naked before him. Mommy says something that if you share your problem with certain people, the next thing the whole community knows about you. But for God, when you are open before him, like sometimes when I'm driving in my car, I'll be like, God, I know I can be naked before you and I will not be ashamed. For you, I can be open and, be truthful with you. Go to God and pour your heart out to him, because he's a friend who sticks closer than a friend. So for him, he cares about you. He knows everything about you, but still he wants you to have that intimacy where you come to him, because Paul says something that when I'm weak, then I am strong. So he said, I will glory in my weakness so that the grace of God will abound. So in that weakness, in that hurt, allow God to come through. Open the door up, because he is closer than you think.
Well, that was very powerful. Thank you so much, Esther. But let's be real. I just want practical examples, right? Let's be real. Yeah, sometimes so easy. Yes, we go before God, we are naked. And I do believe that every woman, whether we are talking about women, every woman have a closet or a place that they've set that they go before God and talk, right? But how do you tame these voices? Like the voices that you hear, the people that surround you. Jay, let me ask you this. I want practical example. How do you tame these voices that speak negativity? Sometimes they don't even talk to you. They won't tell you. They'll tell somebody else, and the person will come tell you, oh, somebody said, or I heard that. How are you able to? You will hear. Yes, here. You will hear it. How are you able to really channel your mind to where you are able, you be okay with what you hear, or even tame those people, those voices that come to you and tell you otherwise. Of it's not like you don't know who you are in Christ. So we all know who we are in Christ, but let's be real, as human beings, things do get to us, especially we women. Every little thing is like, oh, this is pressure. Every little thing, oh, you're talking about me. You don't know what I'm going through. How are you able to tame those kind of voices?
I would say one of the first steps is acknowledging it. I know sometimes things chip away at us, and then one day we snap. And it's like, oh, I didn't even know I had this problem, but here I am. Now I'm breaking down because I've been carrying this weight for so long.
Yeah.
So just acknowledging the situation, I think, is a good first step. And then also like allowing yourself to feel what you're feeling about it. Because yes, you can choose to not let things get to you, but I believe that has to be built up. So sometimes the things people say it hurts, and it's okay to be hurt. Sometimes we try to rush ourselves through and
Yeah.
just brush it off, but really it's still sitting on your shoulder. So
there,
sometimes I personally, I just have to sit there. I have to do my crying. I have to do my thing. And just like, I say, like, I'm going to, cry for today. And then tomorrow I have to move on. So I get it. For me, I have to get it out of my system, So I think understanding how you process things, because we don't process things the same way. So for me, that works. I give myself this period of, cry your heart out. And then tomorrow we have to go. We have to move forward. We have to start building ourselves back up with the word of God, with positive people in our circle, finding people who you truly can confide in. Sometimes, God can use people to speak. So if there's a problem, you bring it before God, and then you also have people that you truly trust. They can also give you a word that you need for that encouragement, for that reassurance, for that affirmation. So I think being intentional about the relationships that you're building, and also understanding that even those people, they're not perfect. So you really do have to run to God, because I can't always run to you, because sometimes you might not know what to say. And even though you mean well, you could still say something that doesn't help. Yeah, so I would say acknowledgement, building a community of people you can really confide in. And those are some of the first steps that I've done to start silencing those voices. And then obviously you have to keep with it. It can't be a one-day thing. You have to wake up every day. Sometimes after pain, it's so hard to get up in the morning, and every day feels like a struggle. But over time, you're able to do it. You seem to build some resilience to the situation, or you're able to tolerate it. So whatever you're doing in those first days where you're truly broken, you have to continue to reassure yourself. You have to keep renewing yourself, like we're told to, renew our minds. So you have to keep instilling those things in your mind, those scriptures, those thoughts, so you can continue to fill your cup.
That's amazing. Yeah, you have to. But hey, as a host, I can't ask any question. Right, Mommy, let me come to you. Women age, right? From what Jay is saying, and I know Jay grew up here, so you have a room to cry. So, and you have family you can run to. But we that grew up in Ghana, the way we were brought up, right? Like I told my mom years ago, I was like, when we were in Ghana, I never saw you being sick, because she was conditioned as a woman. You have to be going. You're always going. Even before she got married, you have to be doing this, you have to be doing that. You don't even have time to see that you are hurt and talk about. So, Mommy, we that grew up in Ghana, how will a woman that, let's say, in her 40s or 50s, who came here and, with culture differences and all that, how would she be able to handle this kind of hurt? Because I know that, like, that kind of a woman has close friends and maybe close families back home, but not here that, like me and Jay, we have friends and community that we can kind of run to. A woman that came from Ghana in her 40s or 60s, how would they be able to like journey towards healing? How would they be able to do that? To know that, okay, I'm working on myself. I'm trying to get healed from these hurt, whether from marriage, from from friends or whatever. How would they be able to do that?
So as a woman that has just, migrated here in the late age from Ghana, trying to get over hurts, I would say that the first thing that you have to do is to be able to overcome any bitterness in you. Because if there's bitterness from that pain that you are carrying, if you continue to keep that bitterness, you will never be able to overcome that pain. But if you take that bitterness away, then you see that, you'll be able to see your way forward. Then once you overcome the bitterness, then you see hope ahead of you. Because when there's hope, you know that there's what? You can overcome whatever is ahead of you because you have hope. Then you have to, grow your faith in the Lord. Because, like I said, nobody can help you when you get to a stage. It's only God. It's only God who can help you. So if you don't grow your faith in the Lord at that time, He's the only one, because over here you really don't know anybody. You don't have too many acquaintances here. All the friends that you have are in Ghana. They can't come here to help you.
Yeah.
They're over there. They are across the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can't come here to help you. The only thing you can do is talk to them on the phone
Yeah.
and give it, but they don't know what is exactly going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They can only imagine,
Yeah.
but they don't know. So you have to have, if you have one person here that you can confide in, that you feel like this person is a true friend, a true sister, that I know that if I talk to, they'll be able to take me through what I'm going through. They'll be able to help me to go through this pain. Then you confide in this sister. And sometimes I'll tell, if I'm saying something to somebody, I'll tell them, because my mother always say this. She said, I'm telling it to your ears.
Yeah, not your mouth.
I'm not telling it to your mouth. So I will say that this one, I'm telling it to your ears, please. I'm not telling it to your mouth. So you say that, and if you say that to that person, and they know that you said that, so if they hear it somewhere, you said it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So would they go and say it?
You.
So take it as everybody take it as you said, I'm telling it to your ears. So if you tell them and you go hear it, that means they went to gossip. Yeah. So you have to confide, if you can confide in that one person who you know that can help you to stand and pray. And if you feel like you don't have anybody, go in your closet, take your Bible, read, pray, and cry unto God, because He's the only one who can help us. He's the only one. Nobody else can help us. Even though our friends, our sisters, our family can help us sometimes, but it gets to a point that God is the only one who can take you through whatever you are going through. And I felt it myself, that I felt like nobody was there. Yeah, nobody was there, that I couldn't speak to anybody, but it's only God. But if you take that bitterness from you, see, certain things happen in your life and you grow. It makes you grow. It makes you more intelligent. It gives you wisdom. Oh, it makes you look like, oh, now I know, I feel like my eyes has really opened from the things that happen in my life. It's taking you from one step to the other. And the other step that it took you to is a better step, because you see that you've really matured in life about what you are going through. So things that you can do, overcome whatever is going through, overcome bitterness in your life, have hope in your life, and rely on God. Grow your faith. Let your faith in the Lord grow, and that will take you through whatever you are going through.
Thank you so much, Mommy. Have faith and rely on God. Thank you so much, panelists. But before I come to Barbara, I want to read some comments online from Prince Akese 2442. We know who you are. Great panel. And I'm sorry if I do mess up your name. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to see. Is it Oliver? Oliver's in team 1871 says, wait, what is there to heal from? The truth is the truth. If you know your body and they condition, why do you have to hear from what others are saying? Oliver.
Oliver, are you okay?
You have to get healed. Karen AJ, K6, is it I or 1 says, Philippians 4:8 says, whatsoever things are pure, are true, honest, these things we ought to think about and not to mind what others say about us. We know, but sometimes it's very hard not to think about it. Humble 1259 says, I believe it is where you place your value. Sometimes we don't believe we heard the voice of the Lord, but we believe what people say. God said, my sheep will know my voice. Learn God's voice. And then she came back and said, it is good to see an elder sister on your panel. Thank you so much, all our viewers. Well, keep bringing your questions. We'll read them. Mommy mentioned about, going to God. Yes, we have to go to God. I believe it 100%. But sometimes I believe that we do need people in our life. And Mommy also mentioned that I'm saying it to your ears, not your mouth. But sometimes I feel like it's so hard to keep saying things to yourself, especially we women. We have girls that we want to talk to. We have friends that we want to talk. And I know we don't think about, okay, I'm telling you, don't tell anybody. You are so vulnerable to the point that you want to share. So, Babs, let me ask you this. Is it okay for us to have friends like that you can share, whether secret or not? Like, if you are married, beside your husband, I have girlfriends that you are able to open up to talk to, because talking is therapy, and women, we talk a lot. We, no matter, we have to share. How okay is it for us to find a friend? Jay mentioned somebody that you can trust. Yes, somebody, sometimes you do find people you trust, but the ear and not the mouth. Sometimes I come here and then. So how do we handle that kind of situation? Like,
I think first of all, community is very important, and especially for, like you said earlier, someone who just moved to the States. Don't ever think you can be an island. You have to build community. I remember like when I first moved here, leaving all my friends and then my loved ones back in Ghana. I do have family here, but it's not the same because it's like you have to start from scratch. There are people here who already had friends from middle school, high school, college, and starting from scratch is not easy. And regardless of what age or what path you are in your life, you do need community. And sometimes that starts from the church. Like whether you like it or not, it does start from the church. You can find friends or community from work, but once you find like a church with women that are like you, look like you, understand, certain things like you guys have a common ground and whatnot. I think that would be the first step to build community. And then from there, work and society, you meet people every day. Regarding like, the lips and then the mouth, the lips and then the ears, I think you have to be very picky to like people you talk to, like who you're confiding in. And one thing that I do personally, which has helped me, I'm a very observant person. I laugh a lot. I smile at you and whatnot, but I observe things a lot. So before I can come to you and say, sis, I have a problem, I need you to help me with something, I've studied you. I've studied how you go about, your life, what you do, and how you talk about other people too. I've studied that. So you do have to while you're building your community, you do have to be very picky as to who you talk to, why you talk to the person too, because you're not just talking to the person just to talk to the person. You have to make sure there's some level of solution. Even if they don't have the solution immediately, I'm sure at some point they're going to reach back out to you and like, hey, Barbara, I remember you talked to me about so and so and so, I think we can go about it this way or that way. It's not easy. It takes time. I would say like it took me at least like 3 years to confidently say, you're my friend. You're my friend. So don't think it's going to be an instant thing. And yes, family is there. Family is also a great starting point. But sometimes it's not the same because like you might be in a situation where maybe your family doesn't really understand you or whatnot. You have to find someone who truly does. So while building that community, you have to be very picky. Yeah.
you have to be watchful. Sister, so let me ask you this. You mentioned when I'm weak, I'm strong, right? How do you define strength in the context of a woman? Like, how? Because I want to know.
That is a very heavy question because, well, personally, strength as a woman is acknowledging the fact that you have struggles, but still pushing through the challenges and the struggles and not losing yourself in the process. So throughout this discussion, we have mentioned the fact that we are always looking out for the good of other people, taking care of other people and not ourselves. So being strong as a woman is having that, I don't know how to put it, but women, we do understand that we have this inner strength that even in the midst of the struggle, we still have this hope that it will all work together. Like we always say that there will be light at the end of the tunnel, not because sometimes we don't even believe it, but we have this hope in us that even in the midst when everything falls apart, there is a way that miraculously it will all come together. So for a strength of a woman, that inner tenacity and resilience to go through struggles and not losing yourself in the process and still rising above the storm no matter what you face. And I mean, as Christians, we do this because me personally, like 2025 was very difficult year because I have so many disappointments and I don't know how I survived, but I always tell my friend that God, I don't know, but I have this belief in me that no matter what, God will work all things out for good. So as women, that is where we draw our strength from, knowing our source. But the strength, like, I don't know how God did it, but we have that inner strength that even in the midst of the struggles, we don't lose ourselves, but we rise above the storm all the time.
Thank you. Thank you. Listen, somebody asked a question. Was Oliver who came back and asked this question? Jay, let me ask you this and I'll go to mommy. He says, in my experience, girls then do more, girls then turn, I think he's saying, turn to be more open or trust a guy more. So what do y'all think about having a good guy friend apart from your partner? I mean, when you say partner, you talk about your husband or partner, yeah.
Can I say?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say something because my best friend is a guy.
Okay.
I think there are obviously certain things you can tell your guy best friend. Your guy best friend is not the same as your female friend. There are certain things you can tell your guy best friend. And in terms of like, how do you feel comfortable doing that? Is that what he asked?
So what do y'all think about having a good guy friend apart from your partner?
I know this is a very controversial topic because some people are like, you can't have guy best friends and whatnot. I disagree. I think you can have male best friends as long as like there are, boundaries, there's respect. My male best friend is actually about to get married and we've been friends for like 6-7 years now. And we've always had that boundary.
Yes.
There are things he would advise me on when it comes to dating. There are things I would advise him on when it comes to dating as well. But like having respect for each other's relationships and creating that boundary. And obviously, like I said, it's not everything you tell your guy best friend. So yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. Oliver, you got your answer. You got your answer. And then, so Frida July 9004 said, you need to pray for discernment from God. Not everyone needs to hear what you are going through. And that is so true because I feel like even as human beings, whether male or female, there are certain things that, to me, when you tell whether your husband or your wife or your friend, they won't understand it. Me personally, there are certain things that before I tell my husband, I will pray about it first because I feel like, you know how men are so logical and women are more emotional.
And it's so annoying sometimes when they're so logical. It's like,
I know, like, I'm like, can you just let me put my shoes down, put your feet in it so you can feel my feeling? So I feel like, yeah, like what Frida is saying, go down on your knees, go to God first, and then before you go to anybody. And Karen Ajay said, your best friend is someone's best friend. Don't tell someone has several witnesses. So it's best to pray your secret to Jesus, our faithful friend who will never betray you. To have a good marriage, it's no. So to have a good marriage is no. That's what she's saying.
When you have a male best friend, you can't have a good marriage.
Saying.
I disagree with that, but that's your opinion.
Do, but yeah, opinions are like nonsense. Anyway, so Elizabeth said, it's good to have friends, but not everyone needs access to everything about your entire life. It's okay to have different levels of friendship by using your discernment. Very true, because I know growing up, my friends that I grew up with is different from the friends that I am here with. Yes, you know me when we were little, but maturity, you grow up, you go through certain things that matures you. So we might be, then we become casual friends. We are not, my sister always say, he said, you are my acquaintance. You're not my friend. She says that, and it's always fun. So I'm like, what is acquaintances and all that kind of stuff? But that's amazing. Mommy, let me come to you. So we talk about strength, right? Can being strong sometimes become a way of hiding pain?
Oh yeah, that's very true. I mean, yes, you're going through so much, but you just don't want people to see it. So you are just acting like you are this superwoman. You're trying to do everything. I mean, you're doing them anyway, but you hiding it and just doing it. You just go, doing it. Whatever you do, they said this, you said, oh, I can do it. They said this, you said, I can do it. But you know yourself that you are really, really going through a lot. You are hurting, that if you sit down, you're going to break down. So you don't want to sit. So that is what is giving you the strength to go and do it, because you don't want to sit down and just looking at that, like that, oh my God, that sorrowful woman sitting there with the face blurred, sitting there. So you just want to get up, go do whatever is being done or what is being asked to be done. So you just want to go and do stuff. You just working. You just working 40 hours. You're supposed to work 40 hours actually, right? You working 50, you working 60, and sometimes you working 72 hours, you working the whole week, because you don't want to sit home. Because sometimes the home is not home when your kids are not there. It doesn't feel like home to you. So you just want to go to work, and you're just going to work so that you can just get away from that pain that you're going through. So the strength that they have is to just go do stuff, go to work, doing things. They said, we're doing this at church. You said, oh, I can do it. They said, we're doing this over here. You said, I can do it. Because you don't want to sit. Because as soon as you sit, you break down. As soon as you sit, you feel like it, then you start all those things that is going through your mind, start coming to you, and then you think about them, and then by the time you know, you're sitting there crying. So you don't want to do that. You don't want anybody to see that you are so weak. So you want them to see you strong.
Why can't we be weak? Why can't we be weak for a minute?
Because you're hiding it.
Oh my goodness.
Because you're hiding it. Why do you want people to see that you are weak? You don't want it. You want to see yourself weak. You go home and you look in the mirror, and that's when you see your weakness coming out. When you are in the shower, that's when your weakness comes over, and then you see that the water is falling on you, and your tears is also falling with the water. Yeah. That's when you see your weakness.
It's okay to be weak.
It's okay.
It's okay to be weak.
It's okay. It's not that it's not okay to be weak. It's okay to be weak, but you don't want to see yourself weak. That's the thing. It's okay to be weak, because you feel like if you see yourself weak, you feel like you're just going down. And you don't want to see yourself going down like that. So you just want to keep being strong. But I know that sometimes it gets to a point that you can't do it anymore. And it has come to a time like that in my life that I felt like I couldn't do it anymore. And I just have to give up. But you don't want to give up. That's the thing.
It's saying there. So I don't want to go back to the pressure, but then talking about weakness. So with this thing, we are talking about it's okay to be weak, because it's part of our healing, right? Acknowledging that I'm weak. But then we don't want to sit down. So are we putting the pressure on ourselves, or is society putting this kind of pressure?
It's society. Sometimes society, because you see sometimes you don't want to say that you don't want to feel what people are saying, but they are saying it, but you don't care. I, for one, sometimes I don't care what people think about me.
Thank you.
I'm just one person. I don't care how you see me. I don't care what you think about me. Whatever I do it for myself. Like right now, I'm going through a stage. People are like, oh, what are you doing? Why are you losing weight? Why are you doing this? I'm just doing for myself. I'm not doing for nobody. So sometimes I don't feel like I don't care what people are thinking about me, but I just want to do what is right for me or what I feel like I just want to do. So it's okay to be weak, but then you don't want it to be, because you feel like when your weakness comes over you, then you just become too weak. So when you see the weakness coming, it makes you weaker. Yeah. So me, for instance, I don't want to see. Sometimes my daughter will ask me, "Mommy, you're off tomorrow. What are you doing? What have you planned?" Because she knows that I'm just going to be doing stuff. Sometimes she says, "Mommy, can you rest?" Like when I'm off, I'm still doing stuff. I'll have a list of things that I have to do in the house. I have to do this. I have to do that. So I'm not sitting, because I feel like when I sit down, I feel tired. And when I'm off, I tell myself, I don't know, when I'm not working, I'm rather tired. So sometimes I feel like I just have to go to work, because that makes me feel stronger. And seriously, it does. When I'm off work, I'm so tired that I feel like I just have to sleep the whole day.
Because it's okay to sleep.
It's okay to sleep. Sometimes I feel like when I sleep, I feel more tired.
Yeah.
I wake up with my back hurting. So I rather have to get up and go do some stuff. I'm always cleaning my garage. My friend will always say, "Why are you always in your garage? What is there?" That is my place. I feel like that place, if it looks cleaned up, I feel so happy. That is one of my, it gives me some strength. Yeah.
My husband will literally be like, "Babe, don't come out of the room. Don't." And he will lock the door so the kids will come in. Talk about weakness. And Jay, let me ask you this question, because we talk about weakness, talk about strength. Have you ever demonstrated your strength only for it to be interpreted as prideful or arrogant, especially by the opposite sex? How did you respond?
Yeah, I think showing my strength, I think especially in maybe career moves that I make, there are decisions that I've made that maybe people didn't support, or people thought, "Oh, as a young single woman, you shouldn't do that." And I've even gotten like, when I'm like trying to get to know people or dating people, they'll tell me like, "Oh, this isn't a good decision because like, how can you do this?" Yeah, because I'm single, because I'm a woman. And especially when it comes down to even when we are deep in conversation and talking about money, and they're like, "Oh, maybe I make more money than them." And they're looking like, "What, like, why? Like, who are you to be in this position, or why are you doing that?" So I think, and to me, I'm like, I'm pursuing my goals. I'm pursuing the things I want to pursue. I'm putting myself first, and, you know, making decisions that will benefit me in the future. And it's received negatively, as if I should, you know, bring myself down because maybe I'm focused on the wrong thing. Like, oh, I'm focused on, you know, career. Maybe I should be more focused on men, you know, at that moment or something. So I've seen like the choices that I make be received poorly by the opposite sex. If it doesn't benefit them, or if it doesn't make me seem suitable for them. So I would say that's probably the biggest example of me showing my strength and it not being received well.
Well, first of all, we are superwomen, so I don't know what you're talking about. Humble1259 said, "I'd imagine it would be difficult to have a male friend when you are married. However, every testimony can be told to everyone. The same with sharing your business." Thank you. Which one am I reading? Karen, Oliver. That's self-inflicted though. The Bible says women are the weaker vessel. So why force yourself to be strong? So whose fault is it? First of all, please go read your Bible very well. When you say weaker vessel, I don't know what you understand by weaker vessel. Yeah, Elizabeth, as women, it's okay to pause and rest from always being strong. It's not giving up. It's simply taking the time you need to recharge. Thank you. And Humble came, empty nest syndrome causes pain, believe it or not. The Lord says, when I am weak, in him I am strong. I refuse to acknowledge my weakness, but I will see it as a problem seeking a solution. Thank you so much. Please keep bringing your suggestions. Let me go to Esther. Where's my questions? Hold on. How has your childhood wounds affect you as a woman later in life?
For that question, I well, childhood wounds. It depends because personally, I would say I was fortunate for the family that I was brought up in, because I don't remember any childhood wound beside my mom either beating me for disobeying her, African parents, or they will give you that eye that if you ignore, every time you ignore that eye, it comes with extra punishment. So those ones, I don't know if that qualifies as childhood wounds, but I would say that growing up with my family, I was brought up in the church. So at a younger age, I was told to be confident. I was told, I got to know my identity at a younger age. So I remember even in primary school, I just knew that if I set my mind to do something and you say otherwise, that gives me a challenge that I want to overdo myself just to prove you wrong. So I would say that in that sense, I was fortunate, but I do have friends that some of them grew up without their father. And because of that, it kind of created that void that they are always seeking for attention, or they are looking for somebody to fill that void of the father, or to the point that some of them don't even know what a father's love with. And that also has affected them in some way when it comes to relationship and all that. But personally, I would say that I was fortunate that I don't remember any childhood wound beside being beaten for doing the wrong thing or giving that.
That was there. Everybody remember the
Yeah.
beatings.
Yeah.
Mommy, Esther mentioned about identity. How important is it for parents to really help their kids when they are growing up to know who they are? Because we have nature and we have nurture. If you're not careful as a parent, community will really tell them who they are. And we can see what is going on right now. We have the people who are left and who are right. You feel me? How important is it for parents to really help their children at a tender age know who they are in Christ, especially we the Christians?
I mean, to help your child, you will do your best as a parent. Yeah, you, as a Christian parent, you're definitely taking your child, you're going to church, you're taking your child to church, they're going to children's service, they're learning all the Sunday school stuff that they have to learn. You're also helping them at home and teaching them as a girl the things to do and things to know, and teaching them the household chores and all that. But then it's left for the child. These days, it's really all that you do is pray. Because we have some Christian children who have gone the other way. And if I say the other way, yeah, so it is, you are trying your best as the parent. You do your utmost best to teach your child the way to Christ, to train your child in Christ Jesus, to take the path of God. But now it's left with the child. So you pray hard. You are always in your closet praying that your child will go the right way. Your child will go the way of God. Your child will do what God's teaching is telling them to do. Because these days, these children go out there and they listen to their friends, they are reading things online and looking at them and watching them. So it's by the grace of God to lead these children to do the right thing. So you are the parent, you doing your best. You teaching, you practically, you praying and hoping for that your child will go the right way as God's word is saying. So that's all you pray for, and that's what you do. So you're doing your best in the house to do whatever you have to do, teaching your child, taking them to church, leading them, doing the right thing, showing you also as the mother or the father, you also doing the right thing, because you cannot teach the child to do something and then you doing the other way. You're doing the different thing. Because if you telling your child to be respectful and you are so disrespectful to your wife, what are you teaching your child to know? You are not teaching your child the right thing at that time, because then your child is going to take it up and say, oh, that is normal for me to learn to be disrespectful to my wife in the near future when I get married. So that is what, these are all things that we also have to know, that what we teach our children, we have to practice the same to them, so that they can also know that my mom is saying this, she's doing the same thing, so that means that's the right thing. But if she's telling me this and I come home and she's doing the other way, then you confuse the child in which way to go. So whilst we're teaching the children the way to go for Christ, we also have to do the best thing that the same Christ is telling us that we are teaching our children. We have to do the same thing so that our children will know that this is, yes, the right way to go. So we have to teach our children, train them in the rightful way of God.
Thank you so much. Train your child. That's what the Bible says, in the right way to go. Going back to healing, Babs, can faith, prayer, and counseling work together in the healing journey? You know, we don't go to any counseling. I mean, how many?
I stay in counseling. I love therapy.
But how many women? We are talking about women.
Oh, yeah, I grew up here.
You grew up here. Thank you, Esther. Right. How many of us, I mean, really go for counseling? You know?
Yeah.
I've never been either. I will go to physical therapy, but
Highly recommend counseling.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's something, I think even things are changing in Ghana these days, where they do have counselors and they're actually advocating for people to do therapy. So if you're not doing it, I encourage you to do it. I think they do go hand in hand, because as much as you're doing the practical step of healing, which is talking to a therapist, you also do need to pray about it. And they go very much hand in hand, because you can't just pray and not like do the work. You have to do the work. And sometimes too, I think the reason why some people won't talk to therapists, right? Licensed therapists, make sure they're licensed, by the way. Licensed therapists is because sometimes they think they have friends they can talk to. They think they have family I can talk to. So why do I need to go pay for this person to listen to me? There are also cases where people don't have those resources available to them. They don't have the family to talk to. They don't have the finances. They don't have the friends as well. And I think even for me, okay, so recently I was in a position where I felt like I couldn't talk to anybody about what I was going through, because no one would understand me. And the one person I would talk to, my mom, just like thousands of miles away. So I had to go to therapy, because I felt like it was boiling up in me. I couldn't really confide in anybody. So I had to go to therapy. And even while I went to therapy, I was praying about it. I was constantly praying about it. There were times when I was in my room crying every night, but nobody knew about it. Only God, who knew I was crying every single night. So while you are praying, it is important to also go to therapy or talk to someone. You know, like I said, you have to be very picky about who you talk to. You have to be very picky about that, because you don't want to talk to the wrong person. You want to talk to the right person. And I think these days too, especially in church, you know, we have groups. We have the women's ministry leaders, especially if you're a woman, because we're talking about women. We have women ministry leaders. We have older women in the church that you can confide in. And it's like, when you're even going to talk to them, don't at once just go up and talk about all your problems. You know, you need to break it down. Just gradual steps. Don't do everything at once. But yes, you also don't want to forget to definitely pray about it. And even if you feel like, because for a moment, I felt like I wasn't healing, because I'm like, I'm praying about it. I'm going to therapy. I wasn't healing. And, even now I'm still in the process of healing. So don't expect it to happen immediately. It's going to take time. You have to be patient with yourself, because I was getting angry at myself. I was angry at everybody. I was angry at everything. I was angry at the church. So you have to be patient with yourself. Definitely don't forget to pray and embrace therapy. I know, like you said, back home, we don't really have it. If you haven't done it before, I would encourage you to try to do it once. So
And some insurance also pay for it. In case you
exactly,
have insurance,
exactly.
pay for it. Thank you so much. Jay, let me ask you this. We're about to close. What advice will you give to a young lady, because you're young, give to a young lady who is hurting and don't know where to start towards healing, who don't know a lot of people, let's say like in the church, new here in the church, don't have friends and have families back home in Ghana or wherever, and they are really hurting. Because one thing I know is that, especially when you come from outside and you come to America, it's very hard to assimilate. If I came when I was 17, and the culture there is totally different. So I was actually met with shock, like I call that shock culture, like culture shock. I come in here with tie and dye clothes, going to school, and you carry, and you feel like your parents don't understand you because they grew up in Ghana, and then the school system is totally different from here, and they won't understand it. And literally, I would say I won't say I healed myself, but I had to pray and keep things to myself till I grew up. Then I started opening up, to my mom, and that's when I started my healing. It wasn't anything crazy, but the culture shock was too much that it literally shocked me, I would say. So what advice will you give to a young lady in that situation?
I would tell a young lady in that situation to, one, no matter what you're going through, know that you're not alone. There's nothing new under the sun. So even if you think that you have the most unique experience that nobody in your immediate circle can relate to, there's somebody who can relate to it. So I think knowing that even as women, even though we're so unique, there's someone who can relate on a level to what you're going through. And hopefully you can connect with that person. But even if you can't, you have to be willing to be a bit vulnerable, because you're going to need to build some kind of community around you. Like Barbara was saying, we're not an island. We can't go through life alone. We're not built to go through life alone. So you have to be able to open up. It doesn't mean, the first person you see, tell them your life story, but start connecting with somebody so you can have a sense of community, because sometimes it's that one text that somebody sends you randomly, hey, that can stop you from spiraling, So build some kind of community and seek help, even if you don't have the means for counseling or therapy. If there is a way to get help through an older person in your environment, whether it's a woman in the church or a woman that you have just come to respect and know and think you can confide in them, and just open yourself up a bit, because if you don't, you will self-implode, and once we get to that point, it's hard to pick up the pieces. Yeah. So to prevent yourself from getting that point, know that there are people who are also hurting, that want to connect with you, that want to be part of your community. But you also always have to take it to God, because God will order those things, yes, for you to get the support and the help that you need. So when you're crying to God, also cry about finding those people that you can connect with. Also cry about having access to some of those resources that you need. And sometimes, like, I'm a person who I can do stuff alone. So sometimes I've been in places where I feel like the walls are caving in, and I have to take myself out of the house I'm still alone, but I'm alone outside. So it's kind of different, And so now I can't be too sad because I'm, taking myself out of a situation that was, not very helpful. So you have to be willing to take certain steps to get to that healing, because the healing won't come just by laying there and saying, you're healed. You have to be intentional about the healing through prayer, through actions, and God will definitely bring you through and to that healing.
Thank you so much. This has been amazing, 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 amazing. Oh, people, see, I only have 6 minutes and you're asking me so many questions. Frida said, let me ask Mommy, then I'll come to Esther. Does it matter the kind of therapist you go to? What if they don't have the same values as you?
Well, I'll say as a Christian, if you're looking for a therapist, sometimes you have to look for a Christian therapist also. So that will help you because they understand your values. They understand, if you're talking about something about God, they're also there. So they can relate, they can link to it and then help you and understand where you're coming from so they can advise you on the things that you are going through.
Thank you so much. And Pearl, I believe discussing people weight is a no-go area in conversation. You don't know who will be triggered and internally leads to dysphoria issues. I second it. Block the noise. Please do block the noise. Humble said counseling in the Black community came with a stigma, especially because there were no Black therapists. Back then, there were only psychiatrists. However, many African Americans are learning to seek help. There are many Christians, Harriet Aboza said, there are many Christian therapists. I think finding a therapist is a trial and error. That is so true. That is so true. Sister Esther, we have 4 minutes. Any advice for whether young or old in our journey of healing and also smiling behind our pain?
Yeah, so my message to every lady out there, you are doing amazing. Vulnerability is also part of our strength as women. So don't feel the need to keep all the hurt inside. Be willing to show that weakness also, because when you open up those wounds, then you are welcoming healing. And just know that God is always there to hear us. Me personally, I've never been to a therapist, but my way of coping is I pray about everything. Everything, I just take it to prayer. And I think one of the audience did mention discernment, because one thing I've realized is that whenever I pray about my problems, God always orders your steps to the right people to talk to. And it seems like God always prepared that vessel ahead of time so that when you speak to them about your issue, they give you exactly what you need. So pray about everything. I will just leave you with Philippians 4 verse 6. It says that be anxious for nothing, but pray about everything. So let's take everything to prayer and trust God that He would order our steps and give us the healing we need.
Thank you so much, Babs.
Yeah, to be strong or to be considered a strong woman is to know when you're breaking down, acknowledge that you can break down to rebuild yourself up. I know Ma Lizzie talked about, not trying to seem weak and whatnot. I think it's okay to be weak for a moment. Definitely don't let it be too long. It's okay to break down for a moment and pick yourself up, because that in itself, and I think Esther alluded to that in itself is also strength. So if you find yourself in a space where you're breaking down, don't think you're being weak or anything at all. I feel like know that your strength is coming. So it's a way of you building up your strength. So it's okay to be weak. Don't overthink it, but know that you have to get up from that. You have to build yourself up from that. So don't stay in that weak stage for too long.
Thank you, Mommy. I see your last.
I also say that as a woman, just be proud that you're a woman. Never look down upon yourself. Don't let anybody tell you that, oh, you're a woman, so you're the weaker vessel. Be proud. Always stay confident. Always stand tall. Walk with your chest out as a woman. Persevere in all the things that you do. And when you do that with determination, you will get to the level that you want to get to. So 2 things that have stayed in my life, determination and perseverance. That has been my 2 things that I always say that I can do it. And if I persevere, I'll get to my final destination. So let determination and perseverance be your two things that carries you in life as a woman. And also be confident and stay proud as a woman.
Oh, this has been amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, panelists. It has been great, great, great. So if you do miss it, you did miss it. Today's topic was behind the smile, healing from what we never talk about. And I do know that women, we do smile a lot, even though we are going through pain. So all that I would say is just be beautiful. I feel like there's so much strength in being beautiful, and there's so much even in the definition of beauty. So just be beautiful. And I just have a quick announcement. Happy Easter, y'all. Today is Palm Sunday. So Easter is coming. Quick announcement. Charlotte District Easter Convention start April 2nd to April 5th. Please do look on your platforms. There's going to be a lot of information concerning Easter Convention. God bless you, Esther. God bless you, Jay. God bless you, Pop. And God bless you, Mama Lizzie. God bless me too, because I can't. And I want to say, I know. God bless our media team, Justice, and my own hubby. God bless you for all that you do. And my other co-host, they're enjoying their lives. God bless you all. God bless you. And I pray that this week will be a blessing. And I pray God will lead you wherever you go. And as always, come, let's reason together. See you in 2 weeks. Have a blessed week.
Great minds, come let us reason together. Great minds, we are open to reality. Oh, we want no more, we are hungry for more. We are curious, always searching for the truth. Great minds, come let us reason together. Great minds, come let us reason together. Come let us reason. Great minds, come let us reason together. Great minds, come let us reason. Great minds, come let us reason together. Great minds, we are open to reality. Oh, we want no more, we are hungry for more. We are curious, always searching for the truth. Great minds, come let us reason together. Great minds, come let us reason together. Come let us reason. Great minds, come let us reason